Test 1, 2. Test.
Test. Hello. Test. Dallas skyline, yeah, because they had blue, and the Clippers had red.
Yeah.
So it's like two dark colors. I'm not sure. I'm not really.
I can live with that. We talk about this all the time. I hate when a home team wears colors at home.
Okay. I do. It bothers me when the Lakers, the Celtics.
Well, of course, the Lakers are the Lakers, though. They wear a color at home all the time.
That's true. Yeah, that's right.
That's tradition. That's fine.
Yeah, it actually bothered me when they went white. The white was kind of weird. Yeah. It's but yeah, when the Celtics opened, so what? The Celtics opened at home this year with the green, and then their second home game they wore the grays. It seems like every team in the league right now has an alternate gray uniform.
And now that like a team like the Lakers, they have they call like midnight something. Their black uniform. I can't remember what they call it. It's like a midnight something.
Yeah.
Midnight in the city or something.
Yeah.
Just weird. This is tradition.
OKC, last podcast, you see that?
Now they have the new oranges,
That's
right?
what I want.
Yeah.
I need something hip and cool.
Yeah.
Like they're a team that needs it. You had, I think, Miami last night or the night before. A lot of teams are going gray.
Yep.
They were like shiny silver. Did you see those?
Yes, yeah.
What is going on?
But Kobe the other day was wearing sleeves.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, and
That
then
can't be. That's got to be a fine.
trying to stay warm.
Yeah.
He's getting old. He's not going to make it through the whole season. There's
No, they're
way.
already sitting him down for various injuries.
He's got a camera crew following him this year. Yeah. He's got apparently there's been a camera crew following him for some time, but like literally, I don't know if you saw him and Wade the other night after the game and talking to Wade's son, but there's like 4 cameras around him. It's so Kobe is, I think we've been fortunate enough where like, we caught kind of the end of the Jordan era. We were able to see all of Kobe. I understand the rings and the championships and the determination. I'm not the biggest Kobe fan, and maybe it's I don't know. I'm not.
When we've seen the ups and the really far downs, from his, sexual assault case to, him and Shaq not getting along, and then
Celtics fans chanting MVP.
Yeah,
that
Celtics
one year
fans chanting MVP at the Garden, and then he comes back with the Lakers, and the Celtics are in their prime. You've kind of seen the up and downs. My thing is if you really took a lot of his teammates and asked them, like, do you like Kobe Bryant? Like, I think if you asked most of like Broncos guys, they'd say, yeah, Peyton's a good guy. He's a good dude. Yeah, he's competitive, and yeah, he can be a prick, but same thing with Tom Brady. You'd be like, but, deep down inside, like, I feel like if Kobe Bryant got into a fight, a lot of his teammates would be like, oh, sorry, this one's on you, Kobe.
Tie my shoe.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just something, I don't know why, but the Lakers have been really bad the last couple of years. And I don't know why, but I feel like when you are, supposed to be one of the greatest of all time, like can you ever picture LeBron James on a team that
allowing
sucks?
his team to start 1-7 or 1-8?
I can't like Jordan. I know he was with the Wizards, but I think even the Wizards,
they were at least in playoff contention, if not being the 8th seed.
Something about not like having off years when you're supposed to be one of the greatest players of all time. I have a hard time believing that when you're going through like lottery draft picks year after 2-3 years
the problem
in a row.
who wants to come and play with them?
Yeah,
I mean, Powell was a trade,
Yeah, they had the Chris Paul trade, and then I think David Stern shut it down.
That was weird.
Hey, so watching the Clippers and Mavs game, I watched the Celtics game was frustrating last night. Paul George, man, the Celtics need they need a star. But watching the Clippers Mavericks game, a couple things to hit on: DeAndre Jordan and then
Yep.
Paul Pierce. First, DeAndre Jordan.
Yep.
He doesn't. I think maybe you and I had a conversation through text,
Yep.
or he just seems young and immature, and I don't think he quite understands everything.
Well,
'Cause-
leading up to it, I was seeing commercials, and all that stuff. The hype, probably just ESPN trying to hype the game. But so you look at the Mavericks, and they're probably like an 8 seed, 7,
Oh, boy.
not making the playoffs. Like they could very easily not make the playoffs.
Yes, yeah.
If let's say they signed DeAndre Jordan, do they all of a sudden scare you because DeAndre Jordan's on the team?
No.
No.
That's what I said to you. I said,
But he does fit well in
Yeah.
Los Angeles. Like, he fits well because he's probably their fourth, fourth option. I'd probably still have Pierce as an option above him.
yeah.
It's just, I didn't I understand the hype, and they were, and Mark Cuban said, yeah, I still have the text messages. I might release them one day. Who cares? He's not going to the Hall of Fame,
Yeah, he look who ca- like I'm not gonna. Why do we care what his text messages say?
Yeah, hey, I really want to come to Dallas. Yeah, because you were throwing him a ton of money, and then Los Angeles decided to throw him the same money.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Career wise, I think he made the right decision. I just think the way he went about it, where he didn't really, he shook on it and then he
Yeah.
went back on his word, which is fine. But he didn't he did it through text.
Yeah.
And to me,
It's
that's
the
just such
era.
a,
The era we live in now. It's like players finding out, on television that they just got traded.
yeah. Like, what happened to look into someone in the eye?
Yeah.
Like, listen, I apologize, but I
can't
made
do
a
it.
mistake.
If someone sits there and says, "Hey, look, I don't want to leave. I realized how good I had it."
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you're gonna hate it. But I think you can respect it a little more.
But what it came down to, I think Jordan thought, Chris Paul didn't like him, and this person was mad at him, and
Yeah.
they weren't talking. And then he's like, "I'm gonna go show these guys, and all right, I'm gonna agree to a deal with the Dallas Mavericks, and then I'm gonna see how they're gonna react.
Yeah.
Well, and then everyone's gonna come running. Now everyone's gonna give me an attack. I almost feel like it was planned.
He's get to see him be like, "All right, guys, I'm really leaving.
Yeah,
Telling you,
guys,
They're like,
I'll
"All
go."
right." Yeah, and then he's
I-
like, "God, I'm catching passes from JJ Barea."
Okay, so the other thought process, the Clippers intrigue me because the West is very competitive. Chris Paul, we talked about last time, he's been in the league for a while now.
Yep.
Did I say 11 years? I think he's in his 11th
Yeah,
season.
I think so.
Okay, so Paul Pierce back with Doc Rivers. Paul Pierce not starting, coming off the bench, which was really weird to see. But I don't know. I got a weird vibe from watching the Clippers last
Yeah.
night. And I don't know. Something about Pierce and that team. I feel like it's not.
He's everything the Clippers aren't.
Yeah,
And I get it. He wants to go home and play for Doc.
yeah.
And I think it's going to be a positive, but there's definitely times where you can watch him, and I feel like Doc is really frustrated because they're going to go through the regular season winning 50-plus games.
Sure.
But do they have what it takes in the playoffs?
Yeah. They got a lot of it almost reminds me of the Lakers back when Malone and Peyton.
Yep.
But it's like they got Josh Smith coming off the bench.
Yeah.
They have so funny stat, Lance Stevenson
Mm-hmm.
starts for them.
Yep.
Before last night's game, I don't know what happened in last night's game. He had played one single minute in
Yeah.
the fourth quarter for the whole season. And I watched him play, and I go, I see why now. That
Yeah.
guy doesn't have a clue. But the Clippers intrigue me. Yeah, Jordan didn't do anything last night. I think he had 13 points and 9 rebounds. Or
Put it this
something
way:
stupid.
when you're in a close game in the fourth, are you worried about DeAndre Jordan?
No,
No.
I'm not.
Yeah, you're not.
Yeah,
If he gets the ball, you back off, shoot it, man. Go ahead, shoot it.
yeah,
Or if you foul him, he's a 50% foul shooter.
yeah.
A
Little surprised. I guess I'm not. The Nets won a game against the Rockets. The
Yeah, they
Rockets
need-
haven't looked good.
They need to lose as many as possible.
Oh man! So for those of you who you should know, but the Celtics made a bunch of when they unloaded Pierce and Garnett with Jason Terry to the Brooklyn Nets a couple years back. The Nets gave them
Everything.
17 draft picks.
None
but
of them protected.
None of them.
Yeah.
They gave them first round draft picks unprotected, and I think at least one this upcoming
Yeah.
draft. So
Mhm.
if the Nets finish dead last with 5 wins for the whole year, and
The
the ping
Celtics
pong
get their
balls
picks. Yep.
go the way, and the Nets get the first pick, it goes to the Celtics. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of talk about. I think his name's Ben Simmons out
Mhm.
of LSU.
Yep.
Hasn't even played a game for LSU yet. But
Australian.
yeah, I actually saw a few of his games at the high school level. The kid's talented, but you just, you never know.
How about,
Is it Andrew Wiggins really going to take you to the next level? Like, I don't.
I'll be honest, and if you have an opportunity to trade it.
Yeah.
If you can get a superstar, it's so obvious to me in this, especially in the Eastern Conference. You are one superstar away from at least competing with the Cavaliers.
Yeah.
You go out and get
Who though?
Derrick Rose do it for you? I read something that there's a little bit of a breakup heading that way.
I'd have to see if it was just.
He
Derrick
scares
Rose.
me. He scares me because he's never healthy.
Yeah, you freaking sneeze on him and he's out for 3 weeks. That's a.
DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah, I like DeMarcus Cousins.
I don't think he's
on
in
the court.
that top echelon. Like
No,
he's like.
But you got to pair. Like you can't bring. Okay, so Larry Bird did an interview for the Boston Globe with Shaughnessy.
Yep.
And Shaughnessy flat out asked him, "Can you win a championship without a star player?"
Yeah.
Because it referenced in the Celtics, and Bird flat out said no.
Yeah. No, it's.
He said you need a star. You need that guy. And he had up. He goes, it's so hard. He goes, you're competitive like the Celtics, and you get the 7th, 8th seed.
Yeah.
Okay, great. You do that for a couple years. You just luck of the draw.
Yeah.
In the draft, picking in the teens.
Yep.
It's hard to rebuild, and how Danny Ainge pulled off the Garnett, and it was just the right time with those guys too. Getting towards the end of their careers,
They needed a title. They wanted a title. They were willing to buy in.
Yeah, and it's just that's so rare because you see it try to happen. What about Melo?
He helps. He doesn't excite me though. I worry about Carmelo.
Yeah, I can't take the Knicks seriously with Derek Fisher as their coach.
And that beard.
Yeah, I can't. Derek Fisher. I mean, he's more worried about his suit and tie than he is about drawing up plays.
I'm trying to think of guys because everyone I think of is a free agent. You're not going to
Durant.
trade.
How about Russell Westbrook? What if Durant takes off?
If Durant takes off, then they have to think about a major uphaul.
I'd unload everything for Westbrook. Yeah. That guy's a freaking. I love Russell Westbrook.
He's 100% balls to the wall.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
Knock on wood, pretty healthy.
Well, he missed a little bit of time last year, but he came back quick.
Yeah,
that guy's a gamer.
Yep.
And
don't you think he'd be just like perfect here? Like he's perfect anywhere.
The fans would love him.
Yeah.
But so say you bring in Westbrook, and then I really wanted to see the Celtics get Kevin Love.
Yep.
Because Kevin Love played with who at UCLA? Westbrook.
Did he? Oh, that's right. Yeah, they went to the Final Four.
So you get Kevin Love.
Yeah.
And then you got him text messaging his buddy from college like, hey
bud,
let's give this
go.
a shot.
Yeah.
So then you have Russell Westbrook and a Kevin Love, and then you throw in, Marcus Smart.
Yeah.
Whatever. You're starting to, you got something there. But if you bring in like a Westbrook and then a Cousins, okay, now we're talking.
Yeah.
But it just like you need multiple guys.
Yeah.
You do.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, LeBron James, his shorts are much shorter this year. Have you noticed that?
Yes, very much so.
Have they talked? I'm sure they've done a segment on SportsCenter about it. No,
I haven't seen one, but I did see someone mentioning about him.
Is he trying to start a trend? Or?
I think so.
You can see the spandex underneath his shorts now.
Oh yeah, very much so.
He looks like almost like a little dork or something.
He kind of is a little dork.
He's such a dork.
Yeah,
but
he strikes me as a guy that if he didn't play basketball, he'd be like in a cubicle, just like glad. He's just like. I don't think he's that cool.
He last week after a game, I guess he missed a couple free throws, some important shots, and he was at his house outside on like his custom-made basketball court shooting free throws.
Yep.
And someone recorded it and he posted it on his Instagram page, just him dribbling, shooting, and but the pictures and the videos are one thing, but when like the comments that he writes, like, gotta keep getting better. No time to rest. It's like, can you picture Larry Bird?
Yeah.
Oh, the best thing was the sleeves we talked about.
Yeah.
He ripped
the sleeves and
You go back to the 3-point shootouts.
Yeah.
Larry Bird win with his jacket on.
Yep.
Oh man, I'm just picturing Larry. If you could pick one player from back in the day, whether it's 80s, 90s, 70s, whatever, to play right now. Like, who would you want to see right now with the current stars? You don't have to get rid of anybody, but who would you want to see for basketball? Is it Bird? Is it Jordan? Would you like to see Magic?
it's probably Bird because he's kind of non-existent now. Like his type of player, not non-existent, but he didn't rely on athleticism as much. Like he was a really good athlete. You have to be a really good athlete, but like guys like
he was smart.
Yeah, he was so smart, so competitive.
Yeah.
You know, I'd love to see what all of those guys would be like in the NBA now.
Yeah.
I think they'd be really good.
Jordan up against LeBron. You got even Gary Payton trying to guard Russell Westbrook. You know, like
it'd be. I mean, Magic Johnson, 6'9" point guard. Holy cow!
I'd like to see Magic now.
Yeah,
I'd like to see Magic play.
Don't you kind of feel like they all could play a little bit still?
Oh,
like if you just like dressed them up.
So I
give them one game.
I don't know how I came across this. There's an over 50 baseball league. Like,
where?
I didn't read the details. It was Oil Can Boyd versus Roger Clemens.
What?
Yeah. Oil Can Boyd pitched against Roger Clemens a few weeks back in some type of playoff championship for this over 50 league.
Yep.
I meant to look into it. I wrote it down. I didn't look into any more details. But you still have these guys. Cam Neely was on the radio earlier talking about the Winter Classic and how there's an alumni game the day before. So it's Canadians versus, I think Andrew Raycroft's going to be the goalie for the Bruins. But you still got these guys who are running around like madmen.
Yeah.
It's out of their system, but it's not out of their system at the same time.
They always still have it a little bit.
Yeah. So, any other thoughts on basketball? I'm trying to think here. I mean, the Knicks, the Nets are terrible. The Lakers are just so. I know the guy's name. He got crossed up in Miami the other night. The little point guard.
Yeah.
I don't even know who crossed him up, but that was classic.
But the Lakers are the worst kind of bad because they're like caught in the middle. They're like trying to be good, but they're not. You know, like the Nets sit there and they say, "Yep, we're really bad right now." You know, and the Sixers are like, "Yeah," but the Lakers are still trying to compete.
Yeah.
But I feel like they're the only ones that realize how far away from. Like I could see. Let's go, guys. Get a couple W's, we'll be all right. But then like you're a 1-12, 1-30. You know.
They also though are the closest I think out of the Philly, Brooklyn. They're the close. Maybe Brooklyn. It might be an attractive spot for someone. Why wouldn't Durant want to go to like Brooklyn? You told me you think Durant wants to go home.
He played there the other day, and I was just adding everything up. I think he saw what LeBron did, and I think he'd enjoy that.
Let me ask you: if you were a professional player, and would you want to play for the for the Red Sox or for the Celtics? Would you want to play?
I think there's some added pressure.
Yeah.
You know,
tickets, distractions.
Yeah.
I always liked Reggie Sanders because he literally signed 1-year deals and he was on a new team every year. And to me, that would be intriguing to me. Like
try every market.
Yeah, no, just move around, bounce around. I mean, I know you travel anyways, but
like so, the thing that if LeBron pulls this off and wins a title, I think it's one of the best stories. Because think about the situation, right? He's in Miami. You're in Miami. Beautiful women, beautiful weather. You know, it's warm all the time. He's got two guys around him. You know, he was a couple games winning. One guy now, yeah.
Irving isn't coming back anytime soon.
Yeah. And so you're a couple games away from maybe having 4 titles. But you went to the finals 4 years in a row. He re-ups. They're not going anywhere. He re-ups. But he decides to go home. But home is not Los Angeles. It's not New York. You know, it's not whatever. It's not New Orleans. It's Cleveland.
Yeah.
You're going home to Cleveland, you know? I think that just, part of me, that intrigues me a lot.
Yeah, I'm curious to see 5 years from now or 10 years from now, whenever.
Now, he hasn't ever made the long-term commitment to Cleveland, though. He's always been.
He can't leave, though.
Yeah. If he leaves, it could get ugly. You thought the first time it was ugly.
He can't leave. There'd have to be something catastrophic.
But where would you leave to? You're in the East, so you're not going to move anywhere in the East because you already have the best team in the East, probably with everyone healthy by far. You're going to go out West? where? The Lakers aren't competing.
Yeah. Well,
and it's more competitive out there. You almost, I don't want to say you have like a free ride to the NBA Finals, but if you stay healthy.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no, I mean.
Right now, as it sits right now. Now, the Celtics could go out and get another big three, or whoever could do that, but,
yeah.
I mean, for the most, it's just, where would you go?
Lakers.
I mean, you're already probably the biggest, definitely one of the top 3 biggest sports athletes in the world right now, right?
Yeah.
So your endorsement money is going to be wherever you go.
Yeah.
You could go play in the Spanish league, and the endorsement money is going to be there.
Yeah. I'm curious to see when it's all said and done what our opinions of LeBron are going to be, because are we going to look back at him and just say he was in his 20s, he was immature, is he growing up before our eyes, you know? Like, are we going to witness LeBron? Like, he kind of has to, right?
I think he has grown up.
And by grow up, I mean, like, stop telling us you work hard and stop telling us you play hard.
Do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
We know. We see you.
Yeah.
We have 17 camera angles to watch you do it.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to tell us every time.
I do think he's going to look back and say, man, I kind of wasted those first 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Maybe not when he was 18, 19. That was, but, he had some opportunities there.
Are the Golden State Warriors going to lose a game this year?
They might go 82-0.
They look pretty good.
Kevin Garnett with the ball.
Yeah, KG back in Minnesota. Looking great as always. Can we talk about the Warriors for a second? I know when they won a championship last year,
I've never seen Steph Curry miss.
He's so silly. He went 3 for 10 last night from
really?
3-point land. Yeah, but Luke Walton is the interim coach for the Warriors, while Steve Kerr is rehabbing from back surgery. He's got some serious back issues. How do you take that? It is pull up for 3. Oh,
you got fouled though.
Is coaches overrated in the NBA? Did we talk about this last time?
We talked a little bit about managers.
Yeah, coach. Because like Luke, let's be real for a second. Luke Walton is coaching the Golden State Warriors.
An average, at best, an average NBA player.
Yeah, I think he may have snuck his way onto a couple championship teams.
I think
in
he was
LA.
with some of those Lakers teams. I don't think he played much.
But my man Luke Walton is the coach. Like, and they haven't lost. I think they're 9-0, 8-0.
They are. They haven't lost. Whatever it is. No, I don't think they're overrated. Maybe he's a really good coach.
Yeah.
You don't know. I mean, look. Walked into a pretty good situation.
Well, it's the same team, too, which is, the Sox 2013 win the World Series. But they try to bring everyone back. And it didn't work. And sometimes it really doesn't work. But the Warriors have a good mix.
I think the scary part with the Warriors is last year they were probably ahead of schedule. You know what I'm saying? So is the best ahead of them? Like, that's scary when you think about it.
All right. Bold prediction right now?
Yep.
Maybe it's not that bold. Do you think they'll break the Bulls' win record this year?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Really? I'm going to go ahead and say yes, they do.
What was it, 72-10, right? So they'd have to go 73-9?
Yeah.
Well, they're not losing tonight, so they're going to be 10-0.
Say for every 10 games, they lost 1 game.
You know what the Warriors strike me as is they strike me as a group that just all offseason did everything together, worked out together, They just, it's talk about a team just fitting so well. And obviously Steph Curry is, you look at a guy like Steph Curry, he went to Davidson. Yeah. How does North Carolina or Duke not see something in him?
Yeah. Well, maybe if he did go to a Duke or a UNC, maybe he's not where he is today.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Maybe at Davidson he played with a little chip on his shoulder.
I just think it's funny. Like Khalil Mack, the guy with the Oakland Raiders, played at Buffalo.
Yeah.
How does, I don't know, even Syracuse not find him?
Yeah.
Or Boston College or something,
Yeah.
Just, guys develop at different stages. I'm going to say no. But, man, if you thought that last year was a fluke, it's not.
I want to see I like the Spurs. I think they're going to finish in the top 2-3 teams in the West. The Rockets, to me, look dysfunctional. I think James Harden's more caught up in the Kardashians right now than he is on.
Is he dating one of them?
Yeah, he's dating Chloe.
But Chloe's still with Lamar, though.
Chloe's still technically married to Lamar. So when Lamar OD'd and did all that crap at the
now, did he start dating her before the OD?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then she left and was like, "I gotta go take care of Lamar."
Yeah.
And she canceled the divorce. put that on hold at least. But now
I could 100% understanding leaving to help Lamar, but I don't know, the divorce thing. That's odd. Anyways,
any thoughts on? Well, let's do this. We've got like 10 minutes, 15 minutes left on this podcast, and it's been a few weeks now, but I don't think we really talked about the World Series that much.
Last podcast we talked very little about it.
So let me ask you this: did the best team in baseball win the World Series?
Yes, and I think we were crazy to not pick them beforehand. Looking back,
yeah. Why is that?
I think they. I just think that overall, if you look, first of all, they don't swing and miss. They don't make mistakes. Like, you look back at the Mets series, the Mets, they made mistakes throughout. They don't make mistakes. And I think they pitched just enough, just well enough. And their bullpen, they basically say, get us to the 7th.
So they won the World Series. They went to the World Series, for the second consecutive year.
Yeah.
Each year they traded for, an ace.
Yep.
Last year it was James Shields. This year it was Johnny Cueto.
Yep.
But realistically, I mean, we're looking at Johnny Cueto, who wasn't good.
Yeah.
We're looking at Edinson Volquez, who had like a resurrection.
Yep.
Right, bounced around a few teams until I think he signed with Kansas City in the offseason.
He signed with Kansas City in the offseason. They sent him down. Who was it? It got Tommy John? The next day, I forget who it was. They sent him down in the minors because he was so bad. The next day, one of their starties, I can't remember who it was, has to have Tommy John, and they have to bring him back up because they lost him. And from then, he was, like, outstanding.
So Volquez, you got Ventura, but you're looking at Chris Young, who, is about 7 feet tall,
Yep.
through high 80s.
Mm-hmm.
An okay pitcher, right?
Yep.
And he's pitching in the World Series for you. So let's pump the brakes. Did they really have an ace this year?
Nope.
So are we overblowing it as Red Sox fans to say the Sox need an ace? Because I keep going back and forth. If you just have 5 decent pitchers who can hold their head above water, like why did the Royals win the World Series? It was because they made contact.
Yep.
They put the bat on the ball.
Yep.
And then they had a really good bullpen. Because you look, even Greg Holland went down.
Yep.
Wade Davis stepped up. He wasn't even their closer
Absolutely.
for the season.
Have you noticed that closers have become I bet you can you even name the 10 closers in the playoffs? Like, remember at the time when you had to have Rivera, you had to have Papelbon, you had to have Trevor Hoffman.
So, what was it? Royals against the Mets?
Yeah.
The Mets Familia.
Yep. Who was outstanding this year. But if you're not a Mets fan or a baseball fan, you have no idea who he is.
So I guess my point is the Royals 2 World Series in a row, 2 years in a row, 2 different aces, quote unquote aces, and 2 different closers.
Yep.
Like, what? I don't. I guess. What? Why do the Sox all like? Why are Boston fans obsessed with now getting that guy, that ace? Why? I'm confused on what is gonna win right now in baseball. Like, what do you?
Well, the problem became 2 years ago is Bumgarner took over the playoffs.
Okay,
and it was just so much. If you look back in the 2014 playoffs, Bumgarner's ERA was around like 1.5, and the rest of the Giants hovered around like 4.5.
Okay,
like he was just that good. The problem with the Red Sox is 1 through 5 is just not good.
But you don't think like Wade Miley's a good pitcher?
Yes, but he's your best pitcher right now.
So Wade Miley, Kelly, Porcello, you got Rodriguez, and you have Buchholz. Well, they have too many pieces right now.
Yep.
To like what I'm hearing all sorts of stuff coming out of these meetings.
Yep.
I know I want to talk about the World Series. Can we go back to the World Series?
Yes.
I want to save the Sox stuff.
Yeah.
A couple things from the World Series. The first pitch from, was it Syndergaard or was it DeGrom?
Syndergaard.
To Escobar?
Yeah.
I have zero problem with that.
I have less than zero problem with it. Now, first of all, go back to the pitch. It was nowhere near his head. He knew where he was throwing it. He knew what he was doing. I have no problem with it.
No, I don't.
I have zero. I have less. Now, look, if he's going back here, okay, then we can. But it's really. It was close, but it wasn't.
I loved it.
Yeah. And he didn't back down after the post game. I love it. I loved it. I loved everything about it.
Yeah,
look, that one on purpose got away from me.
Guy swings at the first pitch
Yeah.
every game and gets a triple or inside the park home run.
I DVR'd, like Fox Sports did this Mission October, and they basically mic'd up guys for the World Series. And before that game, they asked him, they said, "You going to swing at the first pitch?" And he said, "Yep."
As long as it's not outside.
As long as it's not outside, I'm swinging at the first pitch.
Yeah.
And then they cut to like Syndergaard, who said, "Yeah, I might have something special for him first pitch."
I watched that too. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. No, zero problem with it. I don't have a problem with the Royals. If the Royals get fired up about it, so be it. But no, it wasn't as close. It wasn't as dirty of a play as people think it was. They were too comfortable. They were comfortable the whole series.
Terry,
And unfortunately, they got comfortable after that too.
Collins. I know they did.
Yeah.
They did. Collins with the Harvey thing.
Yep.
Was it the clincher? The
Yeah.
game. So Harvey's pitched 8 shutout innings.
Been dominant.
His pitch count is under 100.
Was pretty close to 100, but under, yeah.
I had zero problem with him sending Harvey back out. Now, I did not see any type of interactions. Actually, Garrett listens to these podcasts along
Yep.
with my dad, so I think we have at least 2 listeners. But he wanted to know what your thought was on Harvey, pretty much yelling at the manager saying, keep me in. And I didn't see it, so I don't know what the
He
interaction
didn't yell.
was.
I mean,
But you could tell
yeah,
he was
he
like,
was,
you're not taking me out.
Well, the first thing, and as it usually happens, is the pitching coach goes up to him and tells him, "Hey, they usually like say, hey, you're done." And
so
he
this
said,
was in the dugout.
This is in the dugout. The pitching coach goes up. He goes, "No, let me keep going." And it was like they had it on camera. It was pretty like it was a conversation. He wasn't like yelling and throwing stuff. And then Collins went up to him and he said, "No, I'm good. Let me go." And initially, you look back, and even I thought the next day, man, what a bad move. But that's your guy. That's your guy. And the more I thought about it, that's your guy. You got to trust your players. Part of being a manager, you got to trust your players. Now, it's easy to look back now, but I bet you it's easy for Terry Collins to sleep at night, easier to sleep at night, knowing that he at least went with his guy. If you left Steven Matz out there, you might be like, ooh, But you had
Or Bartolo Colon.
Yeah. And Matt Harvey, no, I have no problem with him kind of firing. Not if you saw it, he wasn't throwing shit and yelling at people.
So I think the one.
I would have taken him out after he walked the first guy. That's the only thing I would say.
No problem with him sending him back out,
Yeah.
but once you get but let's play that game. I would have after the guy got on first, I would have taken him out. Okay, but that's all right. You're up 2-0.
Yep.
Guy on first, get a ground ball.
And and it always creeps in your head. You're one pitch away, especially with a guy like that.
Yeah.
No, I originally I can completely understand where Terry Collins is coming from.
Yeah,
And quite frankly, I think that's why his players like him so much,
Didn't the Royals knock around Familia though early in the series?
Well, he blew a save in game 1.
Gordon hit a home run.
Yeah, Gordon hit a home run. So
Yeah.
it wasn't
So
I
it
mean
was
in
lights out.
game 5, game 4, there was a couple errors, but he certainly wasn't the Familia in the regular season,
Cespedes, what are your thoughts on him after watching him in the World Series? Can I answer that question before you answer?
Go ahead.
A little disappointed.
In off ball
Effort.
that first ball, that the one in game 1.
You screw up, you miss a ball, you drop
Yep.
a ball, fine.
Yep.
Okay, it happens. You better run like hell to go get it.
Yeah.
You better fix what you just screwed. And it just seems with me, even all right, so Greg wants like Robinson Cano.
Yep.
Like it's always like he doesn't look like he's trying.
Yeah.
Because he's not trying.
Yeah.
Don't give me that he's Dominican. It's the culture. No.
Yeah.
He's not trying. I don't care what you say. He's not trying. And Cespedes, catches a routine fly ball. He's
Yep.
got his glove down around
Does it all the time.
his stomach.
Yep.
He goes to throw the ball in. He throws
it underhand. Yep.
That drives me. And he's not a center fielder. That drives me bananas.
I think the most surprising thing is why do they put him in center?
I have no idea.
He's just not a center fielder. Like I'd flip something around, even if it's putting Granderson in center. Yeah, he was pretty disappointing. And he got hot for a little while. He was pretty good in the playoffs, but I mean, is that a guy you want to 6-7 years on?
No.
I don't know.
Because a guy like that talented, kind of like a Monte Ellis. I was watching him last night for the Pacers.
Yep.
He's on like his 4th, 5th, 6th team.
Yeah.
And he's a decent ball player.
Yeah. Why?
Why is Cespedes on like his 3rd or 4th? Like he went from the A's
To the Red Sox, to the Tigers,
to the Tigers, to the Mets.
Yeah.
So and next year he's going to probably be on a new team. So you're looking at in a span of 4. I think the A's signed him to a 4-year deal.
Yeah. He's on 4 teams in 4 years.
5 teams in 5 years.
Yeah.
If he's so talented and he's such a difference maker, why is
doesn't
that
anyone
happening?
keep him? Yeah.
You know, like why? I don't
And
understand.
there was stories about, hey, the Mets basically said, hey, yeah, he's a rental. You know, we're not like they're really not interested in getting into him long term. You know, he did his job, he got hot, and everything looked great, but kind of hinted to the Mets fans, you don't want this guy long term.
Don't get too attached to it. Yeah.
You don't really want this guy long term.
There's got to be something. There's got to be something there.
So he comes to Boston, right? Isn't willing to learn right field.
Yeah.
Isn't willing to learn how to run the bases. And look, you are a professional, so they don't have base running practice every day. You know, gets traded to Detroit. Was pretty solid, but certainly not a difference maker.
Yeah.
Then he goes to New York and
He did. He played well to help.
probably got him to the playoffs, and they're still like, yeah, he's a rental.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like there's got to be something there that we will find out about 10 years from now.
Yeah.
You know, like you hear those stories in the news. Rest in peace to Tommy Hansen. He passed away. Was it Tommy Hansen is his
Yep.
name? But then even the whole Gerald Green thing in Miami. Like those 2 stories came out earlier this week.
Yeah.
And it's like they told you Gerald Green's in the hospital.
But we don't know why.
Don't know why. And then
Yeah.
Tommy Hansen died.
Yep.
But don't know why. But it's like, all right, you just wait those few days for stories to
Isn't
come
that
out.
kind of sad that you see something and you just know something else is there, and it
Well, that's why it's in the news.
yeah.
If it was something...
It's just out of like. I don't really care about Gerald Green personally, but like you don't want to know bad stuff about
Yeah.
especially like a lot of these athletes people look up to, and then you like see something, and you're like, oh, something else. We're gonna find out something else about this guy that we don't want to know.
Yeah.
Like he's a heroin addict or whatever.
So you think the best team in baseball won the World Series. What are your final thoughts in a couple minutes just on the whole 2015 season as a whole? I mean, obviously a huge disappointment with the Red Sox.
Yep.
I mean, even though you got to see some of the young guys play.
Yep.
But, I mean, it went by fast.
It did. I think you're seeing a change in. We've started to see it for a while now in the mid-market teams no longer being mid-market teams.
Yeah.
In regards to winning, in regards to money spending, more than ever, you're starting to see teams go through their farm system. I think the one thing that always seems to strike me, especially now, is the swing and miss rate is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it's okay. It's accepted now. I'll be interested to see, because you see the top 50 free agents, going out there, and you see people making predictions where they're going to go, and quite frankly, it's not all. They're not all going to the Yankees, Red Sox, and Dodgers anymore.
Yeah.
Which is I read something that the Cardinals just signed a $1 billion television deal with Fox Sports St. Louis or whatever. And now that Lance Lynn's down, they're going to be in the running for David Price.
Yeah.
And like the text I sent you, they haven't spent more than $27 million on a free agent. If you're going to get free agent pitcher,
Yeah.
if you're going to get David Price, you're going to spend $200 million.
Was that? No, because they gave Johnny Peralta a big deal, but
They gave Matt Holliday a big deal too. Although
they traded for him.
They did
though,
trade
you
for
know.
him,
But
yeah.
that so you sent me that text and I said, well, what about Adam Wainwright? I go,
He
no,
was in the system, yeah.
he was in the system.
And that was the one they said the only really big contract they've given out was him, $97.5 million. But I think he was through their system for 5 or 6 years.
I mean, is that the secret formula to be successful nowadays? Is I mean, look. Do you think the Mets are going to screw something up? Okay, so the Mets right now have a surplus of starting pitching.
Yep.
But you know as well as anyone, in a snap of a finger or fingers,
Yep.
you could lose a guy in spring training.
Easily.
Next thing you know, you go from 7 starters to 3.
Oh, in a heartbeat.
So if you're them, you need you need offense.
Yep.
But are you willing to part with one of those guys? Because now they're saying Syndergaard is the guy who might be available over Harvey.
I think the name is. I think DeGrom and Syndergaard are the guys you hold on to. There's something about Harvey.
Yeah.
He just kind of like. You just know he's not coming back after his. You know what I'm saying?
Did he look like he put on a little bit of weight?
Yeah, a little bit.
Towards
He's got a
the
little
end.
chunk on him. Yeah.
Yeah, he seems like he likes to stay up late and drink and have fun, which is fine.
Yeah, 20, 24, 25, I'd probably do the same thing.
Yeah, living in New York.
Yeah,
But
living in New York City.
I remember when he got hurt. They wanted him to rehab down to Florida.
Yep.
By himself at wherever Port whatever the
Yeah.
Mets are.
Yep.
And he wanted to stay in New York. He wanted to do his own life, live his own life and do his own thing.
Yeah.
Instead of just being confined to like just baseball rehab. He's like, I can rehab here and get better, but I want to go to Rangers games and I want to go to Knicks games and I want to,
enjoy life.
Enjoy life.
If I'm the Mets, I would. I think I'd re-sign Bartolo Colon because one, you've got three guys that threw a lot of innings this year. You're probably going to cut back on some innings with Syndergaard, DeGrom, and because you're probably going to need an extra arm.
Yeah.
And Colon seems like he could throw forever, so he strikes me as just someone that he might have a blown ACL or UCL, and he's like, "Yep, whatever, I'm still good,"
He gets so much movement on his pitches. That it's just it's amazing. Well, hit the 60-minute mark. Any last thoughts before we sign off? I know I had a whole notepad full of thoughts. We got about to half of them, so maybe we can hop back on, run it back. But
I'm for it. I'm all for it.
All right. Well, for this episode, I got to start counting these to see what number episode it is.
I think this is 5 or 6.
Really?
I could be wrong.
Should we count the past episodes that we've done? Like, because I want to get to 25 and 50.
If that's the case,
and have like 100th episode. We've got to.
We'll have callers and everything.
Yeah. Garrett said he would come on. He said he wanted us to do a World Series recap, and then he said he'd come on. But I want to get like.
He didn't want to recap the World Series?
No, I don't know if he watched it or not. So, oh man, my ear is ringing bad. What does that mean? Someone's talking about you?
Yep.
Wow, that's crazy.
Garrett's probably like, God, they're doing that recap of the World Series.
All right, Krugs. Well, I'll catch you up with you later, man.
Alrighty.
Bye.
Bye.